go.
It's been about a week since I set up this compost pile, and as I said in the previous segments, the main thing is that you want to make sure that the temperature has stayed above 140 degrees. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull the system apart to some degree, and all this is kitchen scraps right here. I use that to hold the top onto this to keep critters out and things like that. I rarely have any problems with that, but it's just a practice that I've learned from others that I found is helpful overall. What that also does, though, is it keeps moisture in and rain out. And what I wanted to show you real quick, too, is, you know, on these temperature gauges, I'm familiar with them enough that I can just take a quick glance at them and I know what's happening in the upper and the lower reaction zones in the compost. Also, I showed a neighbor of mine who was interested in what I was doing, probably because I was filming, but I did warn them so that they didn't think I was just talking to myself. I am talking to you after all. So I showed him what was happening in the pile, and this is about 3 days ago. And so I showed him literally when I pulled this pile open that given the ambient temperature, there would be steam coming out. And as I'm pulling this pile open, indeed, steam is coming out. What that means is that temperature range that I talk about between 140 and 160 actually has the power to create enough steam inside this system to pasteurize the material that's inside. And the reason why you want to pull it apart like this, or pull it open, is not just to create a volcano effect, which I like to tell people about. I says, I can get this thing so hot it looks like a volcano. I'm hoping the cameras will pick up the steam that's coming out, because I sure see it. And so the effect that I'm after is what I call, like I said, a volcano effect. So you can see I'm pulling apart the pile to expose the inner reaction chamber, the inner and upper reaction chamber. And what I find is that when I do this, it gives it kind of a supercharge. It supercharges it in two ways. One, it opens up a chamber that has essentially been depleted of either moisture and or oxygen. And as I said in previous segments, those are the two things that you need to have for an active pile in order to do the work of breaking down the organic material, but also, and probably more importantly, is to kill the weed seeds and other pathogens that may be in your pile. That 140, 160 degree range may sound familiar to some people who do home brewing and things like that. It's basically the range for pasteurization. And above that range, as I said, you'll start killing the good microorganisms as well as the bad ones, if you will. And so in this process, as I said, I'm kind of giving this a supercharge. And if you've maintained the temperature ranges I have, because I've done this for a while, this is my system, I am very familiar with it. I can take a glance at the upper and lower temperature ranges and know that it's active, it's doing what I need it to do to create that compost that I talk about, but also to be able to kind of pasteurize and kill the maladaptive microorganisms, and more importantly the weed seeds. For many people, are going to use this directly in your garden, as we do. So that process, as I said, creates steam. And if you're doing it right, you open it up like this, and you put your hand in there, you will feel heat. And I mean heat. You know, if you put a kettle on here, I have been told by some people in the UK that you can put a kettle on this and you can have tea water in a pretty short amount of time, surprisingly. And I didn't believe that until I started doing this system, and I'm pretty sure I could do that probably with this pile, and with most of the piles that I build in this way. So I wanted to share that with you, and hopefully you can see the steam coming up, and that's it. Thanks for watching.